have been seeing you on flyers. I've been seeing your posts around. Tell us, who is Paa Kwesi Folson?
Okay, hi Ira, it's a pleasure to be on here. Thank you for inviting me.
One pleasure.
All right, so who is Paa Kwesi Folson? So I mean, there's the Paa Kwesi Folson that the public sees, there's a Paa Kwesi Folson that the private sees. Okay. To the world, I'm an award-winning public speaker. I'm an entrepreneur, the visionary entrepreneur. I'm the director of Revolut Solution Limited.
Okay.
I'm a marketing consultant. I'm a personal development coach.
Okay. Oh, yeah. There's more?
Yeah.
Oh, nice and interesting. How I saw that you, as you mentioned, you're an award-winning public speaker and a marketing consultant. How did that journey start for you?
Okay, so public speaking goes all the way back, not just right now what people see.
How many years?
I don't know. I can't give a specific date or a specific year to it, but let me just start out everything began. So one time when I was little, okay, what happened is that my mom loves reading, she loves books, she loves kids, all of that. So there's a period of time in my life where my mom used to take me to a certain library. I've forgotten where exactly it was, but it was around Legon, East Legon, and all of that. Okay. So she put me in the car, we had a metal trunk, and then we'll go to that library and we borrow books. Okay, so you're allowed to borrow about 50 books a month. There's a metal trunk.
50?
Yeah, 55, sorry. And then once you're done, so there's some processes behind it that you have to ensure that you sign and all of that, so that they know that the books are going to come back to the library. Okay, so I mean, we went through all that due diligence, and I still remember that library so well, so vividly. And I mean, every time we go to the library, I choose my books. I do the book selection with my mom. And we go look through the books, and then I just pick any of the books, and then we fill the thing with 50 books. So we take it to the house. I'm supposed to read them, especially during vacations. So I was supposed to read them 50 books a month. So
no, some serious.
Exactly.
50 books when
50
you were young.
Yeah, 50 books a month.
So now some can't even go 10.
Exactly.
So how many books do you read now?
I read a lot still.
In a month?
Yeah, I'm a knowledge I'm a knowledge consumer. Like every time I buy books for people. So I'm like that. If I see that you need, I'm all about knowledge. So I read. I mean, this year, at the point of this recording, I think it's March. So I finished about 7 books this year already. So yeah, I read. My life is about reading, about knowledge, everything. So
amazing.
So what happened was that when I finished one book, my mom would take the book from me and ask me to narrate it to her, because she was an entrepreneur, so she got to be around me often, because I mean she was working for herself, so she wasn't really tied to a job. So at least it gave her that ample time to really be around me, to hone me, train me in the way that she really wanted. So she gives me the book, then I narrate everything, and then we are good to go. So we did that for 50 books, and we kept on doing that week in, week out. Vacation out, like every time.
That started so early for you.
Exactly. So for me, I always built that type of speaking skill, so I could speak and speak. So that transition is so many things. So in class, I always writing my name for DP and all of that, right?
You like talking?
Yeah, I like talking. So, and one thing about me is that once I find something that I love, I want to talk about it. So initially, I love football a lot. I mean, right now I still love football, but at the time I was a football fanatic completely. So I'm that type. There was this newspaper, for those of you who are watching, like you're kind of older, you know 90 Minutes. There's this paper called 90 Minutes, right? And it used to come out only on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I'll save my lunch money and go and buy the newspaper so that I'll always be on top of the trends when it comes to football. So I was always predicting transfers and talking about football. My whole life was football, back in JHS and primary. So one time, I think one of my friends mentioned it to Nanaba Anamoa, and that something happened and all of that. And I got to be on Joy FM for, I was like a 12-year-old kid or something, and I got to be on Joy FM speaking about the AFCON. So it was...
the 50 books was before 12 years?
Yeah, it was before. I was probably 7 or 8 or 6.
And you're reading 50 books a month?
Yeah, 50 books a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. This is
7 years. I'm thinking of 7 years. Okay, let's continue.
What you were doing at that time?
I'm thinking like 7. Wow, that's beautiful.
So,
that's some good training there.
Exactly. So it really built up my confidence, built up my speaking skill, built up so many things about me. So I moved on to that. I had that radio experience for me that was totally transforming. Then I moved on to the secondary school, where I used to be the moderator for every single program. So it could be a church program, I'm the moderator. It could be a carol service, I'm the moderator. It could be an African Union Day program, I'm the moderator. So any program that has to do with people gathering, I'm the one who's going to speak. University, I'm the one always leading the presentations. Everybody wants to be my group because I'm the kind of person who is always like leading that and all of that. So everybody realized that about me, that I love speaking, the way I spoke was great, and it just formed a whole buzz around me. But I mean, transitioning into the industry itself, that's a conversation for, I don't know, maybe it's
we are definitely going into that. I mean, it's like, it's been a childhood thing till now. And I mean, your mom has done an amazing job
and
to
she used
get
to
you reading
sometimes
book
take
at
me
that
to seminars.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I'll just be along with her, and then I used to observe that environment a lot. So, I mean, at the time, I didn't know I was going to be this, but yeah, just observing that entire space, people sitting down, listening to people talking, giving knowledge, and I just love the ambience every time that I was around. So
you obviously love this.
Yeah,
I feel it. Yes, I feel that you love this, and obviously seen even in the way you are speaking. So let's talk about when you officially went into the industry as a public speaker. How was that journey like?
All right. So the real transition happened in 2021. And that's the real transition. That's when I decided that I think this is the space that I want to be in. Okay. So that's after observing a few people that really just inspired the decision to go into this space. Like, for example, around the time I didn't see so many young Ghanaians or young Africans doing these kind of things. Okay. So I always used to see the older people. It's like probably, unless you're in your 50s, 60s, and you're coming to speak to a group of people and all of that. So I was like, I don't know. Then I chanced on this guy's page. His co-feature is Kwame. So I chanced on his page, and then I was like, this is different from the normal or average Ghanaian. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And before that, I was following this guy called Sangu Dell. I used to follow him a lot. I used to watch his TEDx speeches. I used to watch TEDx a lot. So I already knew that space existed, but I didn't know it existed for young Ghanaians, right? So once I saw Features Kwame do it, and then I started looking more into the space, started finding more and more people, and I used to skip lectures, then go for seminars. Because, I love this space, yeah. So I just used to see more and more people, and I was like, there are actually people doing this thing, so it's a possibility, and I could do it and take it to the highest level possible. So I started trying to find out what exactly I need to do. So number one thing, if you want to be a public speaker, find out what you want to talk about. That's the number one thing. Find out what you want to talk about, what are you good at, or what results do you have that you can leverage on to do something, okay? So many people just want to be public speakers, say, oh, I want to start public speaking. Okay, but talk about what?
What do you want to talk about?
Why will people want to listen to you talking about that specific thing? So once you figure that out, it makes everything easier. So the real transition was in 2021. So in 2021, I just started understanding the space, building my craft for speaking. You know, it's one thing to be talking about something else, but it's one thing to actually learn the skill and art of public speaking. That's a different ballgame altogether. It's not just speaking and people say, oh, I'm just going to talk about my story and all of that. It's a real art that people used to study right from Aristotle's days. Aristotle is known as the father of public speaking. So it was an art that people used to learn. People learn and they sit in class and they actually understand the space of it. So I had to understand that for myself, train myself as a classical public speaker because I couldn't afford Toastmasters by myself. So I had to
Are you a part of Toastmasters?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just had to learn everything for myself, like try to understand where it started from, the techniques around it, build frameworks around it, understood it. So if you listen to me talk about public speaking itself, I could go on and on. So I had that transition in 2021. So in 2021, the earlier part of it, the latter part of it, that's at the point I became the president of the largest tertiary private business school in Ghana, which is the Central University Business School Association. So that gave me some leverage about leadership because I was leading a large number of people. So I started talking about leadership, right? But at the time, even though I was that, I wanted to start speaking on stages even while I was in school at the time. But you know how the Ghanaian society is. No, it's not even about that. The Ghanaian society, you're a young person, you're trying to break into this space.
Yes.
Who are you? You know how Africans act around young people.
Young people.
So for me, it was that. I remember I used to. So my whole plan was this. I'll find out a list of event organizers and I'll text them and I'll say this. So I did that. I'm passionate about whatever I do, right? I wouldn't do something if I'm not passionate about it. That's how I am. So I made a whole list of event organizers, and I was texting them and I was saying, oh, I can speak about this, I want to be on your stage, and then they would give me a low excuse, and nothing was working, and most of them used to deny me, okay? So then I realized that the reason why at some point in time, there are even some people to this day that I know that denied me, now they are texting me and all of that, right?
How does that feel?
Yeah.
How does that feel, though?
It's crazy.
Do you deny them?
I don't really mind. For some of them, because there was this one person who actually promised me that I was going to speak, so I was so
looking
excited.
Forward to it.
Yes, and I was waiting for that opportunity, and it didn't come on. So I was so disappointed. And you know, afterwards, he didn't even tell me anything. I just saw the pictures on there. I was like, oh, this was a major heartbreak for me. So I just understood, and
now the person is coming to you.
Yeah.
You're not minding.
Oh, I'm just. Right now,
I have so many questions to ask you right now, like from the whole story you've shared so far, and I'm amazed at the efforts. Yeah. It shows the passion. Yeah. Like in school, messaging people that you want to speak, and of course, you were passionate about it and excited about it.
Absolutely.
Wow. So, I know you've built the confidence from childhood.
Yeah.
Is there a point you are nervous? Like currently, if you get any speaking engagements, are you nervous?
Okay, so even though when I was a child I could actually speak, I had this inherent inferiority complex.
Oh.
Yeah, so I wasn't always confident. That's what people don't know. I wasn't always. I could.
It
speak.
Seemed like
it. Yeah, I can speak if it's time to speak. I'll probably speak, but I'm that type. I remember the Nana Band one thing when I went to it was actually Joy FM. So I went to go speak, and then when I was speaking, like it was just a bunch of about 4 people, we're all around the same age, we're talking about football, and then it was my turn to speak, and my hand was just trembling, and my palms were just sweating, and then
you're nervous.
Yeah, they could see that I was visibly nervous, so they didn't ask me the question. They had to move to all the other kids so that I could balance in, and then I could speak. So I was very shy about certain things. So over the time, I had to do a lot of work. Yeah, public speaking is work. A lot of people just try to undermine the skill of it. It's really work. So.
So right now you don't get nervous.
Okay, so
if you're like regardless of speaking engagements you get, or the platform matters.
To a certain degree, but not. And it's really because I understand the science of public speaking and understand how fear works. Okay, so a lot of people don't understand how fear works, especially in relation to public speaking. Okay, so the word fear comes from a Latin word, or comes from it's a Proto-Germanic word known as feraz. F-E-R-A-Z.
Okay.
That word means danger, right? So if you say you have the fear of public speaking, that means that you are putting yourself. Public speaking is putting you in danger, which is not a thing. And a lot of people don't even understand that there's a difference between anxiety and fear. Okay, so even the fear of public speaking is known as glossophobia. Now, if you break glossophobia into 2, we have glosso and we have phobia. Glosso comes from the Greek word known as glossa, which means tongue. Phobia comes from the Greek word known as phobos.
I'm smiling. Like I'm like, okay. You are showing that indeed you're a consumer of knowledge. So let's go.
Phobia comes from the Greek word known as
beautiful.
phobos. Yeah, which means fear. So it's basically the fear of the tongue. So basically, it's all about phobia. So if you can understand what phobias are, you can really understand how to navigate the space. Like, you really have to do the work. Okay, so yeah, basically that. So I understood that, okay, public speaking is not going to put me in danger, right? It's really to empower me. And usually people have anxiety, not fear. Now, what is the difference between fear and anxiety? Fear is when you are scared of a present danger. So for example, if a snake comes here and you are presently scared of the snake, that is fear. But anxiety is when you're scared of a future or an anticipated danger. Okay, so you're anticipating about it. So a lot of people have the anxiety of it. Okay. So once they have the anxiety, they're always thinking about it. So
I feel like I'm in a classroom right now. As I'm listening to you, I've learned the difference between fear and anxiety.
Yeah.
Nice.
So a lot of people have the anxiety of public speaking. So you just, first of all, have to detach yourself. So when it comes to phobias again, there are 3 types of phobias. So there's a specific phobia, there's something called the agoraphobia, something called a social phobia. Glossophobia is a subset of a social phobia. Okay, so once we have that, you can understand, and social phobias are mainly because people are scared of what other people are going to think about them. So if you were scared of what somebody's going to say after about you, after you're done speaking, after you're done presenting, then that's where it's going to be a problem. You have to detach yourself from that outcome, okay? Think about the excitement, because actually the chemicals in your bodies that are released when you're actually scared are the same chemicals that are released when you're actually excited. People don't know that, but it's the interpretation of it that makes the difference. So if you interpret your fear or that anxiety as excitement, then it changes
the difference is there.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for the education on phobia. Yeah. And that means, as mentioned, you've understood how to put yourself together regardless. There's no fear and anxiety because you understand the whole concept of both. So aside this, what are the general challenges? Like, can you give us 2 challenges you faced with public speaking?
With public speaking, the skill or
or maybe how to grab people's attention. Has it been a challenge choosing your topic? Have you got a topic that this topic was a challenge? Like when you gave the topic, you didn't know this is going to be a challenge. Have you had such experiences?
As for the topic one, no. That's because I've really decided to niche out what I'm about.
So what do you speak about?
I speak about personal branding, I speak on marketing, I speak on public speaking communication itself. So those are the 3 major things as of now. Yeah, so I do train a few companies, I do public speaking conferences and all of that. So one of my major challenges starting out was learning how to grab people's attention. But however, the thing is that I told you that I used to moderate before, and I was wild. Right now, I'm kind of cool. But at the time, when I got to the stage and I speak, everybody's like, I know how to get the crowd moving,
and active.
I already have that thing. So this time was just finding a way to find something that is going to fit the atmosphere of the conference or everything, because you know how people come out a bit formal and everything. So I was just like, okay, fine. But I figured something else. So the people who come to my speaking engagement, is a particular way I start my speaking engagement, they all know. And once I start, everybody's smiling, there's laughter, everybody's excited.
Oh, interesting.
You have to be at the next
I will, so that I'll know how you start to get people laughing.
You can ask, I think that Mabel was on the show, you can ask all of that.
Oh, okay, I will. Maybe Mabel mentioned you too as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nice. Oh, that's great, that's great. Okay, so now you have spoken a lot about public speaking, and I'm sure there are people out there who want to take this career path, get into public speaking, get to know about public speaking. You've said so much. What would you tell those people?
Okay, so first of all, it depends on how the person wants. If the person just wants to speak about different, just normal things, that's fine. But if you want to get into the business of public speaking, that's a different ball game altogether. Because number one, you have to understand the industry itself. Especially in Ghana, the infrastructure around public speaking is almost non-existent in terms of the basic infrastructure, in terms of the systems, the structures, everything is we need to build more. For example, if you go to South Africa, or you go to America, there are speaker agencies, there are speaker bureaus, everything is working there. But you come here in Ghana and it's just you and the client, and you have to, there's so many things that are fundamentally wrong. So when you understand that, it helps shorten the learning curve for you.
How do the person understand?
Okay, so you just have to do your research, okay? You have to do I did my research. I spoke to a lot of public speakers who are already entrenched in the system, trying to understand how it is, okay? How exactly they're monetizing the craft, how exactly they keep on getting repeat engagement, and what, for example, if I take a free engagement, how it can impact me out. A lot of things. You have to understand the thing.
Oh, they would have to come and see you or connect with you to learn more, because...
Really. But for me, the thing is that I never, even though, for me, one thing about me is that I'm a go-getter. So if I have something, I'm going to get it, all right? But the thing is that I never had any godmother or godfather figure who just held my hand and said, okay, this is the way.
Like a mentor.
I never had that.
Okay.
So I rather had advisors who I could just try to just go to. And most of the time I had to do the work of going to them,
reaching
and
out
saying,
to them.
okay, how do I do this? How can I go about this? What do you think I can do with this? How can I structure or build myself around this? Sometimes I also learned a lot from observation. I really critically observe people, how they build things. I go to your website, I check out how everything is structured. I'll go to your seminar, go and see how you go about things. which people you bring, and everything informed me. So when I was starting, you see me moving.
Really wild and out there.
Yeah. You see me moving with photographers and things and people. The way I come, you think that the entire aura and everything. So you have to really understand that. Now that's that part of it. Now you have to understand what you can talk about. Now I've already mentioned what you can talk about. Now once you figure out what you can talk about, you have to figure out who you should talk to.
Who your target audience is.
Exactly. Now, even with the what you can talk about, a lot of people get it wrong. You see, there's some people who don't get a lot of speaking engagements. I'm giving nuggets now, okay? Now, there's so many people who don't get a lot of speaking engagements. Why? Because they don't understand something that I love to call the larger market formula, okay? I mean, there's something, so for example, let me put it this way. How do I put this? Okay, so when you want to talk about something, there are always 3 levels, especially in public speaking. This is my own theory, right?
Yeah.
So there are 3 levels. So there's the market, the sub-market, and there's the niche.
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm talking about, one thing that I talk about, the larger markets thing, is social media. So social media is the broader part. Okay, then I always narrow down. So I have almost like 3 specific areas within a particular topic that I can talk about. So let me give you a practical example. So if I'm talking about social media, right? Let's say social media is the broader aspect. Then I make it a sub-market thing. So I talk about personal branding on social media. So that's the sub-market. But I can now make my topic niche down and talk about, let's say, personal branding on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn
that's
is a subset.
more direct.
Yeah, more direct.
Okay.
So it expands everything. So what I do is that you can build your brand in all these 3 markets. Okay?
It doesn't even make you limited, and then you have a lot more to talk about.
But so many people are just so niche down that that's given them the opportunity. So that's one of the things that I wish I had known earlier, because I started and I was just so niche down with something, and then I was not really.
That's the popular
stuck.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Niche down.
So I'm giving free nuggets because I never had this advice. Okay, people knew it and they're just gatekeeping information, but I'm giving it to somebody else.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving it out. And I hope that anyone who wants to venture into public speaking learns from this, because I'm even learning. I'm getting to know a lot more about public speaking. Now, you've had achievements. You've mentioned that you've had conferences, trainings. Which among these achievements are you most proud of?
That's a tough question because I've done a lot of them. Oh, yeah, you're right. Putting me on
you can mention like maybe your top 3.
I don't know. But one of the things that I was really happy about was when I organized my personal workshop at Holiday Inn Hotel. That was really a big step.
When was that?
Yeah, it was in June.
Last year?
Yeah.
I'm now congratulating you.
Yeah, it was great. It was a paid workshop. Yeah, so it was.
How much was it? It's not public.
Yeah,
it wasn't public.
It was, but I mean, let's just.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
People said it was expensive. They're asking me, why have you made your tickets more expensive than Afro Nation and Afro Future or whatever?
But you had people coming.
The whole place was full. Yeah.
Oh, you deserve your flowers. Congratulations.
So that's the business part of it. So public speaking is a business, okay? So it's not just about the knowledge, the impact. It's also a business at the same time. So once you understand that, it helps you to know how to structure things. But that's one of the things that I was so proud of. Because initially, you know how in Ghana, the thing is that in Ghana, if you talk so much to a lot of people, you end up thinking small. You have to think big. So I had an opportunity to talk to somebody, and it's like, think big. You have to do things big. Before, I just wanted to do one small venue that nobody knows. We just cover, we have a thing. It's like, think big.
And that's what's pushed you.
Exactly. I just decided to widen my scope, broaden my vision, and had a Holiday Inn hotel. It was so great. I mean, even though it was damn expensive. And in Ghana, so many things went wrong. So I had to really pre-finance the stuff. And it was crazy. So we did it. It was very successful. And in that same year, I had 4 other workshops, paid workshops.
That's great.
We had one at Stanbic Heights, had one at Utah, we had one here at Denta, and all of that. So it was
achievements you're proud of.
Yeah. But apart from that, I've had a few speaking engagements on the same stages as people like Prince Kofi Amwabeng. I've spoken twice with him actually. So I mean, I remember the second one. It was so amazing. Like when he saw me, he was so excited. Like he didn't even know I was on the bill, because on that particular flyer, I didn't want my face to be on the flyer due to a few things. Okay, so he didn't know I was going to speak. So I just walked to the stage when they mentioned my name, and he was just there. And then I just passed by him, and then I just greeted him. And then he saw me, he just stood up and he hugged me. It was a great
How does
moment.
that make you feel, like looking at the kind of people you're on stage with?
For Prince Kofi Amwabeng, it was unreal. especially the type of laugh that he showed me and what he told me. It was so amazing because I used to watch him as a kid on TV, KSM, him giving interviews and all of that. It was so amazing. So speaking on the same stages as politicians, business idols, and all of that, for me is big. So yeah, I've had a couple of that.
You do have a long list.
Yeah.
I'm really excited I had you on this show, and it's been an amazing conversation. I wish we could continue, but I'm definitely looking forward to having you again.
Come on.
Definitely, I feel you have a lineup of achievements and success happening. But what should we look forward to from you in this year, in the coming months and years?
I'm not really the person to voice on my plans, but just look forward to more high-level conferences. We look forward to, one thing about me is that I just don't treat my stuff as normal as everybody may treat it. I want to go the extra mile. So for me, I always love for people to do more hands-on stuff, how young Africans can actually create tangible value for themselves. So this year we'll be doing more things on teaching people how to create more wealth for themselves, create more income for themselves. We're having a very big conference, which you'll get to know of.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's happening in June or July. We are still settling on the date.
Okay.
We're bringing a few international speakers on board.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we'll be having that. And we'll be having the workshops, the high-level workshops, still ongoing. And yes, so essentially that's
you do have a lot of amazing things in the pipeline. And I definitely look forward to it. All the best, all the best, all the best. Finally, my final question is for you. You are a thriving young African, and my show is about thriving young Africans, regardless of the industry. And you know how Ghana is. You've had a number of years of journey, challenges, opportunities with the Ghanaian mindsets, with the Ghanaian, with Ghanaians themselves, and all of that. What would you tell someone who is looking forward to making a difference? Not necessarily public speaking, but generally the person wants to make an impact. The person wants to stand up, do something to make an impact and see his passion come to life. What would you tell that person?
Okay, number one thing
I want you to speak to that person.
Right. Okay. So number one thing is that you need to have a vision. Okay. There are so many people in life who don't have a vision. So let me say this quickly. When it comes to having a vision in life, there are 4 kinds of people. The first group of people are people who don't have a vision. The second group of people are people who have a vision, but they don't know how to get there. The third group of people are people who have a vision, they know how to get there, but they are not doing it. The fourth group of people are people who have the vision, they know how to get there, and they are doing it. I want you to be the latter. I want you to be the person who has a vision. So craft your vision, ensure that your vision is in place. Then know how to get there, figure out how you're going to get there, and start doing it. Second of all, I want you to understand that we live in a world of duality. What that means is that there are always 2 sides to every coin. So there's up, there's down, there's bad, there's good, there's health, there's sickness, okay? And there are problems and there are solutions. What I want you to do is that I want you to be at the side of solutions, because if you are not a part of the solution, that means you are automatically a part of the problem. So decide from today that you want to be a part of the change makers. You want to be a part of the people creating an impact, and decide to be a solution-oriented person, and your life is going to never be the same again. Thank you. My name is Paa Kwesi Folson.
Amazing. He is just you've shown your award-winning public speaker. I mean, I was being empowered as he was speaking. So thank you so much for watching to this point. And as you know, do subscribe, because this show is all about interviewing thriving young Africans. Africans are doing amazing. And if you love Africa as I do, and you love Africans as I do also subscribe and join the community of people who believe in inspiration, believe in the power of shared experience, love Africans, and love Africa. Bye.